All right, guys, it's 5:30, so I'm going to get started. Thanks so much for joining. I'm going to go ahead and mute everyone. And if you have any questions during class, you can write in the chat room. If you want to show your video, you can. If you don't want to, you don't have to. It's all up to you. So for our 30-minute class today, I'm going to be doing various strength training exercises, all with our body weights. If you happen to have dumbbells at home and you know how to use them and you want to hold it for squats, feel free to do that. I'm going to keep talking to you as we start the warm-up. Since we only have 30 minutes, I'm going to get right to the workouts. Feel free to modify any of the movements. If I do jump movements and you want to keep it low impact, no jumps, you can keep it low impact. If I'm doing a lot of lunges and you prefer to squat, you can do squats. If I'm doing push-ups and you'd rather do abs, go for it. So I'm here to give you ideas, lots of variety of squats, lunges, push-ups. Just going through a variety of exercises that you can do without any equipment other than your body and your yoga mats. I do recommend sneakers for this class, especially when you're doing like planks with your toes tucked under. It's a little more comfortable, but it's up to you since we are working out at home. Feel free to play any music you like. Let's take our knees a little wider, open up those hips. Feel free to go at your own pace here. We're not moving to any sort of rhythm or music. Go as fast or as slow as you like. So if you have some music that you want to play that really motivates you, go ahead and play that. And then at any time you want during these 30 minutes, you can take a water break. All right, reach those arms up nice and high and alternately pull it down towards the knees. Again, keeping open those hips. Warming up our shoulders. So we're trying to get dynamic movement in our body here. Nothing too intense at the moment, just trying to get movement. Slowly building heat up in our body and slowly increasing our heart rate. This class is a little different from boot camp where we're trying to really spike the heart rate for intensity. Here we're focusing more on technique and not going super fast. Finding a nice steady pace, doing 2 sets of 16 reps. I know that's not 16 fingers. All right, let's take our feet a little wide, about shoulder distance, sit your butt back and down. These are our squats. Great way to warm up our lower body, glutes, quads, and hams. We're gonna do 16, this is just the warm up. We're gonna see variations of squats during the workouts, but I like to do squats during the warm up so you can have familiarity with an exercise you're definitely gonna see in the workout. I'm just gonna turn to the side. You can keep facing front. So you can see that my butt, my hips go back and then down to stopping just above my knees. Okay, what you don't wanna do is push your knees forward and push your hips forward and squat like that. You wanna really reach your butt backwards. At the same time, you want to brace your abs, keep that chest up, spine is mostly in neutral for good posture, good, safe, effective technique. All right, one more here. I'm not doing a great job of counting here. I'll count better during the class. So for our lunges, one leg steps pretty far back. You can tell you're in the right stride length after you do your first lunge. So if your leg is too far back, you'll notice that your knees don't really hit 90 degrees. So we're aiming to hit 90 degrees in both knees. Now I'm turning profile so they can see that I'm dropping down, initiating the lunge by lowering my back knee to about ankle heights. So you're trying not to shift forward. I'm gonna go straight down. And the other thing you want to think about is that your feet should be hip distance apart. So at least this far apart. That way you don't lose your balance. Let's do 2 more. Good. And then so from here, like I'm going to switch my legs, but feet are hip distance apart and I step back. So you're not like on a tightrope. So I'm just going to do this to the other side. Good. Arms can be out for balance if you need. It's a little tricky when I'm looking sideways at you guys for my balance, but the best way to maintain your balance is to stare a couple feet ahead of you on the floor. Give me 8 more. And 4, 3, 2, and 1. Take those hands down to the ground. Find your high plank. Wrists underneath the shoulders. Arms are vertical. We're going to have our butt about shoulder height. Squeeze your quadriceps. Draw your belly button up and in towards your spine and find that strong plank position. If you need to lift your butt a little bit, that's okay. What we're trying not to do is sag our hips. Good. Let's do a couple more breaths. Inhale. Exhale. So try lifting your butt a little higher to alleviate some of that abdominal work first. If that doesn't work, then you can drop to your knees. But I would not drop to your knees in the plank immediately unless you have to. So we're doing push-ups, and now I'm going to be on my knees. So here's the kneeling push-ups. I want my hands wider than shoulder distance apart. So if you look at the width of your yoga mat, my hands are now wider than my mat. And I'm going to bend my elbows, lowering my chest to elbow height. So from the front, it looks like this. All right, do want your hands nice and wide. So that's your knee push-up, which is totally a great way to do push-ups. And then there's the knee push-up. So kneeling, knee push-up. I go through this every class. Those are the 3 kinds of push-ups. Knee push-ups is you're on your knees, but you're not kneeling. I know they sound almost the same. And then the final version is on your toes, tucking the toes under and doing your push-up. All right, don't do too many of those because those are really, really tiring. But I did want to bring it up because we are going to be doing them. So let's start the workout. Hopefully you feel pretty warm. You built some body heat. And if not, then just continue taking it a little slower until you feel like you can up the intensity. All right, the first thing we're going to start with is the wider and wider squats. So if you think about this being sort of your most narrow squats, drop your butt back and down. From here, we're going to step wider, wider, widest, and then back in. But the back end, your feet are not touching. It's back to your first width. Now we're going to go the other way. Wider, 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 together. 3, 2, 1, and squat. So we're constantly squatting. It's kind of like you're pulsing. 3, 2, 1, together. 3, 2, 1, together. Except your together is hip distance apart. 4. Oh, sorry. This is the 4th time we did it on that side. That's why I said 4. Good. This is a lot of squats, right? A lot of pulses. How do we even count 16 of these? It doesn't matter. The number of reps is never the most critical part. It's about the muscular fatigue. Do you feel challenged? That's important. Sit your butt back and down. Good. Try to go the same, about the distance. I mean, it doesn't have to be perfect, but you kind of want to step out at equal increments. There you go. One more time on each side, and hopefully your leg muscles are really burning out by now. Whew, okay, shake it up. So I don't really take breaks. I go from lower body to upper body, lower body. So basically my lower body, which are really tired, is going to rest while I do upper body work. Okay? If you need to take a full break, then go ahead. Grab some water. Jump back in when you're ready. All right, so here, I'm on my knees. I'm going to do a push-up. I'm going to come onto my toes and lift the leg. Down to my knees, onto my toes, lift the other leg. Now you can stay on your toes and lift as well. So pick your option. We're going to do 16 of these. So that's 5. And that's 6. When we come to your knees. The reason I come off my knees and don't lift my leg like this is because the remaining knee on the ground experiences a lot of pressure because all your body weight's on that one knee. So I'd rather you not do that to your knee. We've got 2 more, if I'm counting correctly, but who knows if I am. But hopefully you're feeling muscular fatigue in the arms and the chest. Arms and chest, that's what we're doing. We're doing push-ups. So second set. So if you're seeing an exercise that I'm doing for the first time, don't sweat it, learn it. You'll see it again right away. And now this time, you're familiar with it. 3, 2, 1. So now you're very proficient at it because you've already seen it once. And that's why I like to do at least 2 reps of everything the first time. If you've never seen it before and you're learning it, I want you to have the ability to just practice it again right away versus doing it once, never having seen it, and then you never see it again until, I don't know, my next class, which is next week. All right? Good. If you need a little leg break, how do you do it? Just stand up. Then just drop back down when you're ready. Good, we're staying low. So you notice I'm not really standing up. I'm really trying to burn out my leg muscles. When you don't have external weights, holding dumbbells, squatting barbells, one way of creating more resistance is by staying in a low pulse, keeping that tension, keeping that overload. Let's do one more time on each side. I'm sort of counting, I swear. All right, how do you feel? Everyone good? All right, well, no one's really showing a video, which is okay. I'm not saying that to make anyone feel bad. So just, you can show a thumbs up. Yeah, thanks, Wellness Blueprint. Okay, so good. Now we're gonna go to our push-ups again. And again, if you do want to keep your knee down, you can, but don't feel, again, I like to come off my knees because I feel like there's a lot of pressure there. So here we go. You don't want to lift your legs so high that it forces your hips down. All right, so think about a little quick lift and that's it. Quick lift, quick lift. And let me show you again. Well, I'll do 8 on my toes here. And then I'll do 8 on my knees. So there's my knees. Come off my knees, lift. Knees. Good, for a brief moment when I lift my leg, I only have 3 limbs on the ground, right? Only 3 limbs. And that just creates a little bit of a balance challenge. So it forces your transverse abdominis, your abs, to work a little more. 2 more, you got this. And last one. Okay, we are up, we're off, and we are doing lunges. Okay, so here what we're doing for lunges, we're actually gonna do some squats again. Squats and lunges, we love them. So take your right leg, I know this is my left, so if you're mirroring me, right leg out into a squat, back into a lunge, notice my legs are hip distance, and then into a curtsy. So it just crosses behind my front leg, back to the lunge, back to the squat. All right, that's a 4-part movement. 1, 2, 3, 4. So here, this is 1. This is 1. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Got it? You know what's really gonna burn out? Not the leg that's moving. The leg that's not moving, because it's staying in a pretty much a bent knee position the whole time. Now, if the curtsy the curtsy lunge doesn't feel great to you, then take that part out. Just alternate between squat and lunge. Okay? Regardless, this beautiful left leg here, your left leg, my right leg, gonna feel the burn. All right, 2 more of these. So we're gonna do 8 total of these 4-part movements. So this is the last one. Oh, okay. I know you felt that. I mean, I felt it, so we all feel the same things, don't we? All right, so we can go right to the other side. Why? Because this is the leg that's tired, and this leg is not tired. So we're gonna move the leg that's tired. So lunge back first, start in the squat, lunge back, curtsy, lunge, squat. Lunge, curtsy, lunge, squat. Keep your chest up. I'm counting with my fingers. Because I can't count with my words and also cue. All right, we're on 6. I'm definitely feeling it. I wish that was the 8th one. Now this is the 8th one. You feel it? Feel your right leg? All right, now our leg need a rest because both sides are very fatigued. We're gonna do some abs. So we're actually gonna take a little break off of our arms. Focus really on the abs. Now, if you have lower back pain, you can always keep your feet down, all right? So here's your basic crunch. Head, neck, and shoulders come up. I'm gonna lift my legs, but remember, you can always keep your feet down. So here, crunch, imprint that lower back. So here's what's gonna happen. You can stay here. I like giving a lot of options. You can stay here, or you can do an extension. One crunch and extension. Now, do I necessarily need to extend on the diagonal? No, because that's kind of hard. I can crunch up. So one crunch, no leg movement. One crunch with leg movements, leg extension. And I can extend it on the diagonal, or I can extend it on the vertical. But that was diagonal. And then here is vertical. So I'm not moving my legs every time, it's every other. There's one crunch, leg extension. One crunch with leg extension. And remember, you can be here. And if you wanted to extend from the floor, you can do a single leg extension. There's a lot of options, all right? I don't know that you would want to extend both legs off the floor if you're opting for the feet on the ground option, which is why I'm not showing this option from the ground, all right? So I'm just gonna assume that if you're picking the feet on the ground option, is because you need to have at least one foot on the ground for your lower back. So then this is a great option. All right, it doesn't even matter. As long as you're crunching head, neck, and shoulders up, whew, your abs should be burning. All right, let's just assume that was 30, 32. It was a lot. All right, we're back to our lunge combination, our second set. So first time you're like, whoa, what is going on? Now you know what's going on, all right? And now you're mentally prepared for this. Lunge, curtsy, lunge, and squat. Lunge, curtsy, lunge, and squat. I'm definitely counting. I don't even want to do one extra. Usually when I don't count, it's because I don't really care about the repetitions, because it's not too bad. I shouldn't do that, right? I should always count. 2 more. Last one, and we're gonna switch right into the other side. Move this leg, lunge, curtsy, lunge. I hope you switched legs by now. If not, you're really gonna hate me, but it's not my fault. It's just that you didn't switch. Just kidding. Halfway done, 4 more, 4. Knees are always aligned with toes, always. There isn't a moment that my knees and toes aren't aligned with each other. Even during this curtsy, it's a hip movement. Last 2, it's a hip movement, which is why everything is still aligned. All right, that's it. Oh gosh. Oh my gosh. Yeah, let's do our abs again. I'll actually count the abs this time. I was trying to show all the modifications or variations and options. It just kind of got out. Okay, we're actually going to do 32 though, because I'm going to count this and this as 1. All right, so if we count every single crunch, it's going to end up being 32. Here we go. Make sure you're breathing. Remember, I gave you all the options in that first round, so figure out what works for you. Try to get the shoulder blades all the way off the floor. I know as we start to get tired, we just end up moving our head a little bit. You should be able to feel when your shoulder blades are on the floor and off the floor. Last 4 and 3 and 2 and 1. Good. Your hands can be behind your neck, of course, always to support the neck, but if you don't feel like you need it, you can always reach your arms forward. All right, so we've been doing a lot of squats and lunges, but you know what? There aren't that many options for legs other than squats and lunges. So now we're gonna do heel raises, but we are still in a squat position. All right, so when we're doing a heel raise, getting a little bit of calves. So this is low impact. We lift right, we lift left, we lift both, and then you can lift both again. And for an option, if you want to do a jump, you can lift right, left, both, and jump. I'm not jumping super high, just getting a little air. Right, left, both, and both. That's the non-jump version. Left, both, and both. And what if you want to jump 2 times? Like this? You can. Because what happens when you jump is you have to come off your heels first onto your toes before you jump. So you're working your calves either way, whether you do 2 jumps or 1 jump. All right, or no jumps. If you do no jumps, you're working those calves. Oh, I meant to show 1 jump, but I keep forgetting. Okay, so this is the 1 jump. All right, so we're on our 5th one, I think, 5th round. Because I was demonstrating the first couple, so they didn't really count. But if you join me, great. 7, 8. We're not going to do 16 of these because we're in the squat this whole time. Huh. Do you feel it? Do you feel the burn? Now, if you answer truthfully that you don't feel the burn, then you should do more. Like, we shouldn't stop at 8. You know, 16 is a rough estimation of numbers as to what number a typical person would start to feel that fatigue. But it doesn't mean we are all the same. Sometimes you might fatigue at 8 or 10 or 12, okay? Technique is more important than anything else. Here are some triceps. I know for push-ups I said to go wide. Triceps are actually narrow. So if you get your hands right underneath your shoulders, and notice my elbows don't go out, they go back. So this is your tricep push-up. Here we go. I'm going to turn to the side again. I'm staying on my knees. You can do it kneeling, knees or toes. After the push-up, I want you to be a tripod again. But instead of lifting the leg, we're actually going to lift the arm. So lift it out to you, to the side. Push up, out to the side. If I keep all else square, for a moment, since my hand is off the ground, I'm going to feel like I'm going to fall on my face. So I really got to recruit my abs. Now, I will say that it is easier if you're kneeling. So what happens if you're doing knee push-ups? So here, my butt disappears. A little more challenging. And then, so find a number that challenges you. I have a feeling that we're not going to be doing 16 of these. All right, be honest, find your challenge. Count every push-up, not every arm lift. So if I was doing it on my toes, have your feet at least hip distance apart, at least. Your hands or shoulder distance apart. Push up, reach. It's really quick. Out, in. Up, down. All right, let's do 1 more. But you should feel that whenever you have one of the 4 limbs off the ground, that it's more challenging for your abs because it has to recruit more when all 4 limbs aren't there. All right, round 2 of this. I don't know how we felt in the first round, but let's aim to do 12 of these this time instead of 8. Let's get a little closer to 16. Right, left, both. Option jump. 1, 2, 3, 4. Well, everything's in sets of 4s today. I mean, I planned it, but I didn't really think about that sort of similarity. I should just think of a theme and then go with it, right? You don't have to do the jumping option, or you can do the 2 jump option. Here's the 5th round. Or was that the 6th round? By the way, you don't always have to lift the right foot first. In fact, we should probably change it up. But more or less, it's a symmetrical move, so not a big deal. Let's do 4 more. Land softly. Everyone can jump. Everyone can get in the air. That's not where you get injured. You get injured on the landing. So land softly. This is it. Whew. All right. Triceps. Tricep push-ups are so much harder than chest push-ups because we're not really using our chest anymore. Chest and arm triceps versus just triceps. All right, if you don't want to do the arm lift, you don't have to. If you want to do chest push-ups, you can. It's a little harder to have your hands this wide and do a lift though. So I would probably take out the arm lift if you're doing chest push-ups. Okay? I'm gonna do it this way. So notice that if you are on your toes, but not bending your elbows to about 90 degrees, then you're really not getting the benefit of the tricep being worked out, right? If you're on your toes and this is the most I can bend and get back up, then I really encourage you to come to your knees so you can do a deeper elbow bend, more flexion in the arms. So greater range of motion develops the muscle more. And then as you get stronger in this position, you can slowly transition to your toes. But you won't be able to train and get your arms stronger if your range of motion is like this small while on your toes. Meaning I will never get stronger to bend my arms more if this is the most I go. Oh gosh, I'm too tired to do it on my toes anymore. But this is the great thing about muscular fatigue. It's like, do whatever position fatigues your muscles. It's not like, oh, I'm on my toes, I'm tired there, I should stop. No, you still got energy left. Just do it on your knees. And then when you run out of energy on your knees, that's when you can stop. All right, let's finish with a little bit of abs, and then we'll call it a day. Okay, so we're going to actually lift our butt here with the assistance of a little kick. Now, if you are using all momentum, you're not going to really feel anything. If I do a more controlled lift, pushing with my arms, just hold and squeeze for a moment at the top, then it's not all momentum. So my legs kind of come towards my head, but it also goes up. So this is a reverse crunch. You might have seen it like this before too, which this is a version you can do. Basically, you want to lift your tailbone off the ground. Tailbone on, tailbone off. All right, so it's working the lower part of our abdominals here, whereas this part was our upper part. Let's do 8 more. This is it for the workout because I got to stretch you guys for the last 2 minutes. 4, 3, 2, 1. And if that hurt your back, remember you can always come back to this. That is your basic crunch movement. All right, quick stretch here, open up the thighs, reach to the center. By no means do you need to do a pancake here. We're just feeling length in our body. Reach across to one side. And then to the other. All right, we're gonna stand up and do a quad stretch. So we use a lot of quadriceps, hip flexors during our squats and lunges. So this is a really important stretch. I do it every single time. And then here's the other leg. And we already did our hamstrings when we're sitting on the floor. So one other thing we should really target are our calves. So kind of really decreasing the angle at the ankle to get the calf stretched. Let's also stretch open our chest while we're at it. Don't you love multitasking? Stretching 2 muscle groups at the same time. All right, so here's switching. So basically, I really want to keep my chest up so I can feel the stretch through my hip flexor as well as into the calf Yeah, so my back leg is straight. And then here, what we can do is round the back just for a quick upper back stretch. But I definitely prefer pairing this stretch with the chest opening just because of the hip flexor. And then triceps. You can also get a little bit of abs in here as you lengthen. Leaning away from the tricep you're stretching. Now, I will admit that this is not really enough stretching. We should definitely be holding this for a little longer, 20 to 30 seconds per move. But I feel like if I spent, I don't know, 5 minutes stretching and 5 minutes warming up, then we really don't have that much time working out. So I suggest that if you still feel a little stiff and don't feel like a pretzel, that you continue to stretch a little bit more on your own, just another 2 or 3 minutes. Listen to your body, give it what it needs. If you don't stretch enough, you're gonna feel really stiff, maybe extra sore. You're gonna feel sore regardless, but you wanna feel a little less sore and a little less stiff. All right.